This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Still missing. 2 weeks after disappearing, the search for Lily and Jack Sullivan continues in Pictou County. Parking wars. After weeks of complaints, staff at Nova Scotia's biggest hospitals will once again be able to park without facing fees. And new digs. North End Halifax gets a new basketball court with help from the Toronto Raptors.
The long weekend is here, and you're going to want to keep the umbrella handy, especially for Sunday as our next system rolls in from the west. Your full weekend forecast is coming up.
Good evening. Ground and air search rescue teams will be back in Lansdowne Station this weekend to continue looking for 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan. It comes 2 weeks after the siblings vanished without a trace in the rural Pictou town. They are thought to have wandered away while their parents were in bed. CBC's Brett Ruskin is in Lansdowne Station with the latest on the efforts to find the siblings.
2 weeks as of today that these children have been missing here. 6-year-old Lily Sullivan, her 4-year-old brother Jack, disappeared from their family home. Police say that they may have wandered off into the woods, into these thick, dense woods behind me here. Inhospitable conditions. There are thousands of trees down from a hurricane a few years back. There are thick clouds of bugs in the air. There's ticks in the woods and on the ground. You take a couple of steps off the pathway, off the roadway, and your pant legs are full of ticks. So not great conditions for missing children, not great conditions for the search efforts that have been going on, that were going on for the first 6 days of this search, with more than 160 search and rescue volunteers in these woods, dogs as well, helicopters rumbling through the air. You had drones day and night searching overhead as well for any sign of these missing children, but there has been no evidence, no clues as to what may have happened to them. Now, this search has garnered international attention from experts and amateurs alike, trying to determine what may have happened to these kids and offering opinions and rumors about what may have happened. We heard from a professor of criminology at the University of Louisiana talking about a search like this and some of the difficulties that investigators and searchers might encounter.
I think it puts us kind of back in time regarding risk. These cell phones that we carry around, we think keep us a lot safer. We can track them. And now we don't sort of have that here. We also don't have that close connection of immediate people who can go out and hurry up and scan this small area, right? It's rural. There's lots of areas to search. There's not the go-to town center sort of thing where we can convene. So really the environment created, I think, a lot of disadvantage for this case.
So again, difficult conditions for the search, for any kind of efforts to find these children. The police say that even though the search has been scaled back after those first initial 6 days, that the investigation is still very much underway and very much in progress. More than 180 tips have come in from members of the general public. They are investigating each one of those tips. They're also conducting more than 35 different interviews with people who may have been close to the children, family members, friends, neighbors, members of the public as well, who might have a connection, might know something about the disappearance of these children. Overall, though, the vacuum resulting from the lack of confirmed facts is being filled by speculation and rumors online, with, again, not many answers as to what may have happened to these two missing children. Brett Ruskin, CBC News, Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia.
The trial of the man accused of killing Pat Stay heard how the battle rapper spent his last hours on the evening of September 3rd, 2022. Corey Good is a longtime friend of Stay's. Good got married that afternoon at his home in Lawrencetown. Good told the trial of Adam Drake that Stay was a guest at the wedding until he left around midnight. He made his way to Celtic Corner, a bar in downtown Dartmouth. Sean Knowles was the manager there. He testified that Stay appeared in good spirits and did not appear to be impaired. From the Dartmouth bar, Stay made his way to downtown Halifax and the Yacht Club Social, where he was fatally stabbed. Most of Friday's testimony was taken up by Detective Constable Randy Wood. He took video and photos of the crime scene, and he said there was a lot of traffic through the area that would have tainted the evidence. Pat Stay was a huge name in the battle rap world, and his death has garnered tributes from across North America. The CBC's Ali Thompson explains why the case is so high profile.
The man in this mural is a legend in the battle rap world, Pat Stay. And now the man accused of killing him is on trial. Here's what makes the case so high profile.
I'm taking it home, baby. What up, Canada? I love y'all.
Known as the sucker-free boss, Stay was as big as it gets in the battle rap scene. He grew up in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and got his start in the Elements League, learning a form of battle rap that's prepared beforehand. He quickly honed his skills and made his debut at the King of the Dot League in Toronto in 2009, a competition that draws the industry's best battle rappers. Stay went on to win the World Domination title multiple times. His battles have garnered millions of views online.
See, my style's magnificent, swag dripping. I'm way too smooth, y'all. The white Snoop Dogg. I can moonwalk with steel-toed boots on.
On stage, Stay was known for being captivating and commanding, ruthless, but also playful and comedic. But those who knew him personally say Stay was a gentle giant, a loving partner and father, and a dedicated friend.
I think people really need to like you as a person. They really need to buy into you. And I think I've kind of given my fans a piece of me.
Outside of battle rap, he was a kind, gentle person who wanted to help everybody. And woke up with a smile on his face and went to bed with a smile on his face. So that's why the whole world loved him.
In 2017, Stay made his big screen debut, acting in the Eminem-produced battle rap movie Bodied. After his death, Eminem shared his condolences, saying, "Kings never die."
I've been a huge fan of yours for years, and the level that you rap to is like the pinnacle of battle rap, and it doesn't get any higher than the level that you rapped at.
In September 2022, Stay was stabbed at a bar in Halifax. He later died in hospital, sparking an outpouring of tributes. Days later, police arrested 35-year-old Adam Drake and charged him with second-degree murder. That trial is now underway. Supporters of Stay are following it closely. And here in Dartmouth, he won't soon be forgotten. Ali Thompson, CBC News, Dartmouth.
Nova Scotia's police watchdog is awaiting word on whether another oversight agency will investigate potential police misconduct in the wrongful conviction of Glenn Assoon. It has been 5 years since the provincial government promised an investigation of police actions in the case of Assoon. Assoon spent 17 years in prison for the killing of his ex-girlfriend before he was acquitted in March 2019. The Serious Incident Review Team's director tells the Canadian press she is hopeful of being able to offer an update about the case in the near future. Since early 2024, another provincial investigatory body was considering taking on the case, but that is still awaiting approval. The Nova Scotia government has added another piece of land in Halifax to its list of special planning areas. These are places the province wants to fast-track for housing development. As Taryn Grant reports, some people are worried the province's urgency to build is compromising too much.
Nova Scotia is telling Halifax to start planning for 2 major new housing developments.
What we'll see here is over 5, 10, 15 years, a controlled growth of housing in these 2 areas to help fill the gaps in our housing needs.
Both areas are in the suburbs of Halifax Regional Municipality. Sandy Lake in Bedford was previously designated a special planning area. It has the potential for more than 8,000 housing units. This corridor just off Highway 102 has just been designated, and it has the potential for more than 11,000 units. The designation is supposed to speed up housing development.
Good land, quite frankly, is really difficult to find for development these days. It's getting more scarce, particularly around HRM, and this will free up that opportunity.
The new area west of Highway 102 runs alongside the Blue Mountain Birch Cove Lakes area, a proposed urban national park. A developer has been trying to build here for years, but was rejected by HRM. It's now the subject of a lawsuit. At Sandy Lake, people have been protesting the idea of building housing. Dr. Lorette Geldenhughes says it's a precious piece of urban wilderness.
As a physician, I am deeply aware of the health benefits of nature.
She's part of the Canadian Association of Physicians for the Environment. Its members have called the Sandy Lake area the city's lungs. They say it should not be developed.
I'm also deeply aware of the severe negative health effects of not having housing or having inadequate housing. But this does not seem to be the best solution for it.
The opposition disputes the suggestion that sites for housing are scarce.
We do have land right in the middle of the urban core. We have things like the St. Pat's Alexandra site, which in North End Halifax has sat empty for years and years and years. We brought legislation so that government could have taken that site back, done something with it. Same with the Bloomfield site.
LeBlanc says the province is trying to balance people's concerns with the urgent need for more housing. He says the safety of the natural environment will not be put in jeopardy. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Halifax.
And it's time for our first quick look at the weather with meteorologist Ryan Snoddon. Ryan, it's a bit damper today than yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. And that's generally the theme as we move into the long weekend, Vern, unfortunately. Going to want to keep the umbrella handy as Sunday's going to be our dampest day. This will not be a washout of a weekend by any stretch. But Saturday especially, if you're really looking for the sun, lucky you if you're in the north. If you're along the Atlantic coastline, get inland. That's my advice here, as we will see the winds from the east to southeast. So fog patches will retreat back to the coast. We're going to see some drizzle chances, spotty showers, especially down through the South Shore. And the best opportunity for sun will be the valley and into the North Shore into the afternoon, and Cape Breton as well. Looking at a really nice day there. And then for Sunday, more widespread clouds and, yes, some periods of rain marching in. And as that front sinks off to the south, that opens the door for that onshore flow for Saturday. And then you can see into the Saturday night and Sunday time period, this is the frontal boundary that will work its way in with those periods of rain. Can't even rule out a rumble of thunder. May see some clearing into the afternoon in the west as that front moves its way and that main line of rain moves its way eastward into Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. And Monday, cloudy, some spotty showers in there. Temperatures, again, not too bad. We'll break it all down with your full weekend forecast in detail coming up in a few minutes. Vern?
Thanks, Ryan. We'll check back in with you a little bit later.
Thank you.
Nova Scotia Health is backtracking on restrictions for staff parking in Halifax. The health authority says it received about 600 emails from employees about the issue since it was implemented at the beginning of May. Carolyn Ray has the latest.
The arms of the parking lots at the Halifax Infirmary and Victoria General Hospital will be opening to staff on Tuesday. After weeks of debate, the health authority says it has heard from employees loud and clear.
Bear with us. We know that this is frustrating.
Employees were told to stay away from the main hospital parking lots to make room for patients and visitors. A message they've been told for months, but was emphasized when parking became free at the beginning of the month. During peak hours, the hospitals need 4,000 more spots than currently exist. That left many scrambling around the city's downtown, and some opting to pay the price for parking on hospital grounds. Over the past few weeks, staff have actually had to pay if they wanted to park here on site, upwards of $70 a day. For some support staff, that was nearly half their salary, and the union says it's about time that is being changed. Now there will be 2 floors of this parkade designated for staff for free, and another 75 parking spots at the VG lot. If those spaces are gobbled up and staff park there, they'll be charged a flat rate, $14.50 a day, even though they're being asked not to stop there.
We're doing our best. There's only so much space downtown beside the hospitals that we can use, and we're trying to find a way to make sure that we're having enough for staff as well as for visitors and patients.
The NSGEU says this is welcome, but there's still a long way to go, and this situation could have been avoided if the province and health authority planned ahead. The health authority agrees that this first step doesn't put the brakes on the conversation about parking entirely. It's still trying to find more places for some of those 4,000 extra cars.
We're looking at everything. We're scouring the city for empty lots or lots that we could take over and assist to try and find more space for staff.
And another twist is in the works. The health authority says it's looking at slapping a fine on people who steal prime hospital parking spots when they're not actually going to the hospital. If that goes through, the plan is to charge them $500 a day. Carolyn Ray, CBC News, Halifax.
A provincial body recently found that a Halifax-based marketing company violated the Labour Standards Code and ordered it to pay thousands of dollars in unpaid wages to 2 workers. but now it seems unlikely that money will reach them. Andrew Lamb reports.
2 Halifax area workers are owed thousands of dollars each in unpaid wages and other pay from their former employer. But despite having a ruling in their favor from the provincial body that handles these issues, they still haven't seen the money they're owed.
I went through the stages of grief with the money that I was owed, and I've accepted that I'm never going to get it.
Akira Aruda worked for Halifax-based marketing company Arbuckle Media and filed a complaint against it in June. In April, the Nova Scotia Labour Standards Division ordered the company to pay more than $10,000 in unpaid wages and pay in lieu of notice owed to Aruda. Arbuckle Media was also ordered to pay more than $6,000 owed to another former employee, Terry Boats. But in May, a labor standards officer sent emails to both workers saying the division attempted to collect money from financial accounts associated with the company, but there were no funds available. And now the file is being closed.
While I did get an order issued, I still consider it a complete failure of the system to have dealt with it for 9 months and for nothing to come of it.
Meanwhile, Boats says all this is still affecting her. She needs expensive dental work done, and the money owed to her could cover that.
We are very tired. It feels like we shouldn't have to work this hard for something that has been deemed owed.
In an emailed statement, company president Joel Arbuckle says Arbuckle Media ceased operations after unsustainable financial losses and is functionally insolvent. Like many small businesses, the statement reads, "We did our best to navigate difficult conditions, but ultimately could not meet all obligations before closing." Arbuckle says the company has no assets to satisfy the labor standards order. The executive director of an organization that provides legal information to workers says these cases are representative of a larger problem.
Our current labor standards division has very weak enforcement policies and not a lot of mechanisms in order to get justice when the employer doesn't want to play ball or shuts down bank accounts or otherwise ignores orders.
Bloom says Nova Scotia should implement measures like those in British Columbia, where employers who violate labor standards and are ordered to pay wages face increasing fines for subsequent violations. Andrew Lamb, CBC News, Halifax.
Lobster harvesters in Atlantic Canada are not thrilled with the prices they're getting for their catches as the spring lobster season gets underway. The Coldwater Lobster Association in Nova Scotia says prices typically dip in May as the season starts. But this season is different. They say the economic turmoil unleashed by U.S. President Donald Trump has made everyone in the industry nervous. Last month, live lobsters at the wharf were fetching $15 a pound. But that price has since dropped to $8 along Nova Scotia's Atlantic shore, and as low as $6.50 in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Cape Breton may reap the benefits of Canadians choosing to travel within the country this summer. Destination Cape Breton is expecting an increase in visitors this year. Its website is seeing a 50% increase in Canadian traffic. CEO Terry Smith says that because Canadians are avoiding traveling to the United States, fueled by comments by President Trump, Smith says they're seeing many Canadians booking online, looking to travel to the island.
But we're also seeing that from Americans, and currently we don't do any marketing within the U.S., but we're seeing that U.S. traffic to our website is up about 70%. So we think that we're going to see good numbers from Americans as well.
Smith says accommodations are also starting to see strong bookings with mostly Canadian travelers so far. He says he's also seeing increased interest from travelers from the European Union. Construction has started on a brand new outdoor basketball court in Halifax's North End that has a special connection to the Toronto Raptors. The new court, being built next to Highland Park Junior High School, was chosen for upgrades in recognition of the African Nova Scotian population in the area. Gareth Hampshire has that story.
Highland Park Junior High School's basketball court's being revitalized after getting a special grant to do the upgrades. It's from the Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment Foundation in cooperation with the group Giants of Africa, whose co-founder is Masai Ujiri, the president of the Toronto Raptors. And it's big news for people in the area.
It's the first time they ever put repairs on this, so that's good what they're doing.
She used to go to this school and grew up playing on the old court that everyone agrees needed fixing up.
The old court, it was like very like the ground was like breaking apart and like the net was like bad.
The nets were like broken. Like even if you shot a good shot, it would probably not go in because it was like a broken net.
Giants of Africa has made a commitment to build 100 courts throughout Africa, so it's significant Halifax is also benefiting from its support.
So I think this is a really great investment to play basketball on. I feel like a lot more people will start playing basketball now that we have a better court on here.
They're doing a great job fixing it up, new improvements. I'm very excited to play in the new court.
The court's location was picked in part because of the African Nova Scotian population in the community.
So to see that this is happening here in the North End, I already know so many people are going to use it and love it. So it's really nice that we get this opportunity here.
There is still some work to be done, like a newly painted acrylic surface on top of the paving. New bleachers, lights and fencing will also be installed. And the ribbon cutting is tentatively planned for June. Gareth Hampshire, CBC News, Halifax.
It's that time of year again. The Blue Nose Marathon takes over Halifax this weekend. Streets in the downtown core will be flooded with runners as the race returns, and that means there will be some full and rolling street closures and parking bans. The City of Halifax is reminding residents to expect disruptions. A full list of closures can be found on the city's website. Meanwhile, Halifax Transit is offering free conventional bus and ferry service for those involved with the marathon, including volunteers. You just have to show your credentials or race bib. And Ryan will be back next with the full weather forecast. See you in just a few minutes. And Ryan is back now with his full weather forecast. Well, Ryan, we talked about it yesterday. Weekend's here, and so is the rain.
Yeah, the timing, right? Timing is everything. After what has been an amazing stretch, of course, things cooling down. Although Saturday really, I think, is going to be not too shabby, especially for northern areas of Nova Scotia. Now, if you're thinking this was the weekend, you might want to go and check out Peggy's Cove. You might want to hold off. I'm pretty sure this is a pretty good preview of what Peggy's Cove will look like right throughout the weekend. The winds in from the east to southeast, and so that fog is going to be looming and lingering right along the coastline. May ebb and flow a little bit, but a better chance than not that fog is going to be in place at Peggy's and along that Atlantic coastline. Look at the high temperatures today. You can see we did peak into the mid-teens across the north and east, 26 at Kedgie. Now, as we look at the temperatures this evening, we've dropped off into the single digits, Sydney and Ganesh, hanging on to the double digits, the low double digits along that north coast. And temperatures have started to cool off here as well, but still warm inland. But note the onshore sea breeze having its impact here from the south shore into the Lunenburg area. So I'm expecting that onshore flow is really going to dominate throughout the weekend, as I said. Let's break it down. So here's the front. And the cooler temps starting to slide in here through the north and east. We're looking at showers and possibly even a rumble of thunder this evening along that frontal boundary in these showers that have been coming through. This is the system that's going to be working its way in throughout the weekend, and it is going to take its time. And you can see the contrast with this system, and it is going to be producing some severe weather, possibility of some tornadoes in through the U.S. Northeast as we move through the overnight tonight. And you can see that colder air wrapping in on the other side of this system, 5 in Winnipeg. You remember it was 37 degrees in Winnipeg a couple of days ago. So just this is the ebbs and flows of spring, no question. Now, as we look at the forecast for tonight, temps are going to cool down here in the east with a northeast flow. Skies are going to be a bit clear. That will allow temperatures to cool off into the mid-single digits, even low single digits. Sydney and inland areas of eastern Cape Breton hanging on to the 6 to 10 range for central and western areas. The model doing a pretty good job with this frontal boundary, which kind of fades away into Saturday. And you can see Cape Breton, the eastern mainland, a pretty bright start, I think. We'll see some fog patches in the mix. The fog will be thickest along that Atlantic coastline, and then it should retreat back to the coast, although likely stubborn there, and that cloud will likely linger, though some breaks of sun possible even down towards the Halifax area. But you can see it's the northern parts of Nova Scotia, the valley, into Cobequid Bay, Colchester, Cumberland, the northeast, and certainly into eastern areas in Cape Breton. This is where the skies are going to be brightest. This is where temperatures will have the opportunity to really pop, and you can see the contrast there with those temperatures. And now, Saturday evening, we'll start to watch that next line move in. We'll pick up that timeline in just a second. Southeast winds, so cool right along the coastline near 8, but inland we're going to be into the teens. Should squeak up into the 16, 17 range, places like Port Hood, Shetticamp, 19 Antigonish. Again, cooler in Canso in those onshore winds, and then across the North Shore, we'll be flirting with 20 from New Glasgow to Tatamagouche, up to Amherst, and even around Cobequid Bay, Parsboro, Truro. Pretty solid day down to Windsor. Chance for some drizzle at Enfield, and then a greater risk as you march your way towards that Atlantic coastline with winds from the east-southeast. And again, likely right near single digits, 8-9 degrees if you're in places like Peggy's Cove or Lunenburg or Liverpool, and then you work your way inland and you can see temperatures into the teens in the valley. Now for Saturday night into Sunday, here comes that line I talked about. This looks like the first of a couple of bands of rain that we're going to be seeing. Can't rule out a risk of a rumble of thunder here on Sunday as well. And again, the winds from the east to southeast, so it'll be mildest in through the north. And the possibility on Sunday, as that line pushes up towards Cape Breton, that we may see temperatures pop here a little bit milder if that sun does break late day here in through western areas of the valley. Keeping it moderate right now in terms of that chance, but we are looking at either way temperatures in about the 10 to 14 range for most on Sunday. That low moves off to the south, and we will see some clouds and lingering scattered showers for Monday with temperatures again 10 to 14. Cooler stretch Tuesday into Wednesday of next week, Vern, unfortunately, and we do have some showers lingering into late next week, but the possibility of some sun breaking in as well as hopefully we get out of this locked in pattern. It's going to be a damp few days.
A little bit of everything ahead of us. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Coming up, it's been 2 weeks since 2 young children vanished without a trace in rural Nova Scotia. We'll walk you through a timeline of the case so far. Welcome back. As we mentioned earlier, 2 young children in Pictou County are still missing. 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan haven't been seen since May 2nd. The CBC's Cassidy Chisholm breaks down what has happened in the time since their disappearance.
It's been 2 weeks since 2 young children vanished without a trace in rural Nova Scotia. Here's everything we know about what's happened since their disappearance. Around 10 a.m. on the morning of May 2nd, 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing from their home on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station. The children's stepfather, Daniel Martel, told CBC the siblings were out sick and not at school on Thursday and Friday. He said he believed the children must have gone outside through the sliding back door sometime Friday morning.
When we noticed that the children were gone, immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
Nova Scotia RCMP said they believed the children wandered away from their home and there was no evidence of abduction. That morning, a vulnerable missing person advisory was issued in Pictou County, and the organized search for the kids began in the heavily wooded area surrounding the family home. Volunteers searched through the night. More than 100 people were called in to help. Helicopters, drones, and police dogs were also part of the search. On Saturday, May 3rd, officials were optimistic the children would be found.
It's a huge wooded area with lots of potential. So we're just keeping all avenues open and ensuring we're covering off the entire area with a very structured search.
Around 5:30 that night, RCMP issued a wider alert to Pictou County and surrounding areas. On Saturday, the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, spoke to CTV News. She said she was hopeful and that she just wanted the kids home. The search continued on Sunday, May 4th. The children's stepfather said he wanted authorities to monitor the New Brunswick border and nearby airports in case the children were abducted. Meanwhile, 160 searchers were out looking for the children despite rainy conditions. On Monday, May 5th, police and rescue agencies continued searching, going at all hours. RCMP said searchers had located what could have been a footprint on Saturday and expanded the search effort in that area. That night, 4 drones with thermal imaging technology were used to look for heat signatures in the woods. Tuesday, May 6th marked 5 days since the children went missing. A Nova Scotia RCMP spokesperson said in an update that the case remained a missing persons investigation.
Police are pursuing all investigative avenues, and there's a variety of teams involved who are applying the tools and the skills and the expertise needed to locate and bring Lily and Jack home.
McCann wouldn't say if there had been any sign of the children. The children's stepfather told CBC that after the disappearance, the children's mother left the area to be with her family in another part of the province and blocked him on social media.
My mother had to kick some people off the property because they were saying that I did it. I had something to do with it. And I'm the only one here fighting for them, which is sad.
The children's maternal grandmother told the Canadian press the family was hoping and praying for the children to come home. On Wednesday, May 7th, Nova Scotia RCMP announced it would scale back the search for the missing kids.
We're not packing up, and we're not giving up. Our investigation is broad, and it won't end until we know where Lily and Jack are and can bring them home.
McKinnon said there hadn't been any confirmed sightings of the children, and survivability was unlikely.
If we thought they were alive right now, we'd still be out there.
He said the searchers covered a 5.5 square kilometer area, roughly the size of Halifax's downtown, that was heavily wooded.
I'm absolutely exhausted at this point after going through 6 days of virtual hell. It's absolutely crazy.
On Thursday, May 8th, the RCMP packed up its command center in Lansdowne Station and searchers left the area. Martel told CBC he spoke with investigators from the Major Crime Unit in Stellarton earlier in the week. He said he willingly handed over his phone to police and investigators searched the home. Martel said he also asked for a polygraph test.
I just want to clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else.
RCMP declined to say whether a polygraph would be administered. Meanwhile, a makeshift memorial was set up at the nearby Stellarton RCMP detachment.
In a news release on Tuesday, May 13th, Nova Scotia RCMP said they were continuing to investigate. Police said they were following up on more than 180 tips from the public and had identified 35 people to interview, including community members and those closest to the children. Police also confirmed that an underwater team searched lakes in the area but didn't find anything.
On Thursday, May 15th, RCMP confirmed again that there's been no evidence to suggest the children were abducted. 2 weeks later, on Friday, May 16th, there are still no answers as to what happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan. Cassidy Chisholm, CBC News, Halifax.
Coming up, the jury has been discharged and the judge alone will determine the fate of 5 ex-World Junior hockey players in a sexual assault trial. And officials from Russia and Ukraine meet for the first direct peace talks in 3 years and wrap up in less than 2 hours. Welcome back. A stunning decision at the sexual assault trial of 5 former World Junior Hockey Team members in London, Ontario. They've all pleaded not guilty in connection with an incident involving a woman known as EM after their 2018 championship. Now the judge has told the jury they were no longer required. As Ali Shassau explains, the trial will continue without them.
One sex assault trial, 2 juries discharged. This morning, Justice Maria Caracia decided that this trial will proceed in front of her alone out of concern about jury prejudice. This after a note was passed to her written by a juror. It specifically called out 2 defense attorneys, Dan Brown and Hilary Dudding. They both represent Alex Formanton, saying they felt they were whispering and laughing at the jurors, quote, as if they were discussing our appearance. This is unprofessional and unacceptable, the note said. Justice Caracia decided the only way forward is judge alone. In a statement, defense lawyer Dan Brown and Hilary Dudding said this was an unfortunate misrepresentation of just 2 attorneys talking amongst themselves. Quote, no defense counsel would risk alienating a juror, and nothing could be further from the truth in this instance. And the very idea of counsel making light of a juror is illogical and runs directly counter to our purpose and function. The judge said she didn't observe any of this behavior in the courtroom and would have stepped in if she had, but still, it was enough for her to decide to completely discharge the jury, and it's not the first time. A mistrial was declared in April when a juror complained about an alleged interaction also with Dudding at lunch. The juror claimed that the defense lawyer had said to them that they had been nodding a lot during the Crown's opening statement. Dudding denied this, but the defense argued that the jury was already thinking negatively of them. And the mistrial was declared. Flash forward to today, and a second jury was just discharged. But this time, the court doesn't have to start all over again. EM's testimony stands. More witnesses will be called, including other hockey players who were in the hotel room the night of the alleged assault. Court resumes on Tuesday, albeit in front of judge alone. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, London, Ontario.
Meetings between Ukrainian and Russian officials in Turkey have wrapped with no apparent signs of progress. Expectations were low after Russia's President Vladimir Putin refused to attend. The 2 countries agreed to a large-scale prisoner swap, but remain far apart on key conditions to end the fighting. Briar Stewart reports.
Russia and Ukraine's first direct peace talks in more than 3 years were over in less than 2 hours. They agreed to each exchange 1,000 prisoners of war, but found no common ground on a ceasefire.
If you want to have serious negotiations, you need to have guns silent. This is logical.
Ukraine said Russia made unrealistic demands, telling Kyiv its troops had to withdraw from the 4 embattled territories before there's a ceasefire. If they don't, Moscow reportedly threatened to seize even more land, saying it's prepared to fight forever.
You have a message for Vladimir Putin? I'm here.
Ukraine's president had been in Turkey, but Volodymyr Zelensky left when he said it was clear Vladimir Putin wasn't coming. He's now in Albania meeting with his European allies.
The Russian position is clearly unacceptable, and not for the first time.
Europe wants to work with the U.S. and roll out tougher sanctions. U.S. President Trump thinks it's all going to come down to a meeting.
Nothing's going to happen until Putin and I get together, okay?
The Kremlin, too, wants a summit with Trump, but says it will take time to plan.
Putin is the man who decides on everything.
The former foreign affairs minister for Ukraine says the U.S. needs to exert real pressure.
Everything we've seen so far since the inauguration of President Trump did not suggest that he is willing to do it, because we saw him criticizing and cracking down on Ukraine, and we saw him engaging and courting Putin and Russia. So this has to change.
Both Russia and Ukraine say they're drafting details for how they would see the ceasefire working. Ukraine believes, too, that the next step should be a summit, but it wants to see it between Zelensky and Putin. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
U.S. President Donald Trump has wrapped up his trip to the Middle East. His itinerary did not include Israel, but before he left, Trump commented on the situation in Gaza.
We're looking at Gaza, and we got to get that taken care of. A lot of people are starving. There's a lot of bad things going on.
Smoke rises over Gaza as airstrikes continue. Israel launched dozens of new strikes across northern and southern Gaza. Palestinian health officials say more than 93 people were killed. And Israeli blockade aimed at forcing Hamas to release the remaining hostages and relinquish power has led to severe shortages of food and medicine. In eastern Manitoba, a wildfire burning near Lac du Bonnet has forced nearly 1,000 people from their homes. The Lac du Bonnet fire is considered out of control. It's burning about 100 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg. The fire has killed 2 people, a couple found by police on Wednesday. Another fire is burning farther south. Rain and cooler temperatures overnight Thursday have made the fight against those flames a little easier, but the battle remains far from over. Alberta is sending 2 firefighting crews and support staff to help. 25 years ago this month, Canada's worst ever E. coli outbreak took hold of a quiet Ontario town. The community of Walkerton saw 2,300 people fall ill and 7 die in a population of 5,000 at the time. Now the community is reflecting on the Walkerton water disaster and whether it could happen again. The CBC's Elisa Shing has that story.
Trudy Fraser hasn't drank tap water in more than 2 decades.
You lose that trust when you see people have passed away, people you know that passed away and were very ill, and your own family, what they went through.
In May of 2000, a heavy rainstorm washed cow manure carrying a deadly strain of E. coli into a well in Walkerton, Ontario, about 3 hours north of Toronto. Improper chlorination, a lack of training, and checks and balances due to budget cuts caused the bacteria to quickly taint the town's water supply. It ravaged residents for days before officials announced there was an outbreak. 7 people died, including a toddler. More than 2,000 were sick, about half the town. Fraser says her daughter, Alyssa, was one of the people vomiting bile.
It was terrifying. The doctors told me probably the day or 2 after she got there that she probably wasn't going to live.
Fraser is thankful her daughter survived. Many are still living with the consequences. Gastrointestinal illnesses like IBS. Others have permanent liver damage. Alyssa lost a portion of her kidney.
And she doesn't remember a lot of it, thank heavens. She does not remember a lot.
From the trauma,
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah.
So this is the memorial plaque for Well 5.
It's understandable why the town might want to forget, but Bruce Davidson says it's also essential to remember the lessons, co-founder of a citizens group that pushed for answers.
We took water completely for granted and pretty well did everything wrong you could do.
In 2002, the Walkerton Inquiry recommendations revolutionized how the province protects drinking water sources. It set standards for testing, treatment, and training for water systems operators.
Every operator in Ontario has come through.
As part of that work, the Walkerton Clean Water Centre opened in 2004.
It makes a huge difference. So I'd say prior to the tragedy, a lot of small communities didn't have access to that training.
Now, every spring, Fraser spends afternoons at this memorial. A tragedy that left an indelible mark on her family, but does not define them nor their community. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Walkerton, Ontario.
Loblaw is warning the trade war will hit its shelves harder in the coming days, pushing up prices on thousands of additional products. As Anise Haidari explains, the longer the tariff chaos continues, the more consumers are paying for it.
$19.55. Your grocery store bill could be going up soon, at least for U.S. imports the Canadian government has tariffed. Warning coming from Canada's largest grocer, Loblaw. Its CEO has said its number of tariffed products is about to shoot up from 1,000 to 3,000 out of about 80,000 it stocks. In a LinkedIn post, Pearbank wrote customers will start to see more impacts in non-produce categories like natural foods, pantry staples, health and beauty products, and more. Most vegetables and fruits are exempt from Canada's counter tariffs, but many dry goods and processed foods still face 25% charges. Independent players say cheaper pre-tariff inventory is running out.
Buckle up. We've already started to see the price increases. Remember, these counter tariffs went into effect in March. So as inventory became depleted, those goods had to be replaced if you did not have an alternative supplier.
Some of Loblaw's biggest competitors didn't directly address if price hikes are coming, but Metro and Sobeys both said they are working with their suppliers. So far, it's just Loblaw warning about future price hikes.
I think they're trying to get ahead of this.
This marketing expert says the grocer wants to avoid blame.
They're trying to do something that other retailers aren't doing, which is keep preparing the consumer for what's to come. Will consumers still respond positively because of that? Probably not, because at the end of the day, your grocery prices will be more expensive.
And in the U.S., Walmart giving similar warnings about U.S. tariffs on China.
And so what some retailers will do is they'll absorb a lot of that cost increase so that they can still flow that product, still be able to sell that.
With the U.S. trade war going global, one thing is clear. Some costs at your local supermarket will go up unless tariffs drop down. Anis Haidari, CBC News, Calgary.
The Winnipeg Jets shut out the Dallas Stars last night to stay alive in their second-round playoff series.
Off the center, Pionk in over the line. Back for Connor, and it's Shifley. Waiting, shooting, scores!
The Jets avoided elimination with a 4-0 victory over Dallas. To keep their playoff hopes alive, the Jets will need to do something they haven't this entire postseason: win a game on the road. And tonight, another Canadian team will try to avoid elimination. The Toronto Maple Leafs are down 3-2 in their series against the Florida Panthers. Well, Canada's main stock index rose on Friday trading amid strength in industrial and financial stocks, while U.S. markets also gained. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to commercial break. And finally tonight, it's a sight that attracts many visitors to southwestern Argentina. It starts with a deep cracking sound. That's a massive block of ice as tall as a 20-story building collapsing from the edge of the famous Perito Moreno glacier. While this process called calving isn't new, glacier experts are seeing a worrying trend. They're noticing bigger ice columns breaking off and more frequently, and the glaciers getting smaller without rebounding back in size during winter. Research shows glaciers around the world have been melting faster than ever due to global warming. And that's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.